Okay, we're recording then.
All right. So,
like I was saying, I do like podcast.bmp. Like, I Delta.
yeah, if you guys hear clicking, we have quadrupeds on hardwood floors.
Not quadriplegics.
So,
Right, Delta?
anyways.
But no, podcast.bmp I think is perfect almost just because, like...
it's better than Untitled Goose Game.
Well, they didn't want to title it that, but everybody loved it on the Kickstarter. That's
yeah,
what I
they
heard,
also
at least, so.
it was originally called Jerk Goose or something like that.
Which makes sense. That's. Have you played that game?
Not yet, no.
That's your game.
I mean, I hate geese. So
I know because they're jerks. Now you get to be one. See how it feels.
But I want to kill them. I have a intense loathing, resentment. They are the bane of my sanity.
Especially Canadian geese.
Well, but yeah, they're supposed to be nicer because they're Canadian. God damn it! So
well, you kind of are a pilot. Your dad's a pilot, so geese kind of get in the way.
Yeah, but they attacked me elsewhere. But anyways, so podcast.bmp. What does the BMP stand for?
Well, that's going to be on Byte My Pixels. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do we want to put it on?
Still have the BMP channel, yeah.
Yeah, we can try to resurrect it.
Yeah, well, I'm put it on yours. Just make it a spin-off program, man.
I was thinking put it on both to start and be like, hey, check it out on here. Because I have 53 subscribers.
I am the guest. I have not earned these 53 subscribers yet. So, yes. Anyways. Well, I think most podcasts start off with people introducing themselves.
Yeah, that's true. We did a nice long introduction segment with no introduction. Anyway, welcome to podcast.bmp for Byte My Pixels, or I'm probably going to save the thumbnail in JPEG, so that kind of defeats the purpose of the BMP.
Save it as a PNG. That way they can ping us if they have any questions.
We're dumb. But anyway, this is Anthony, aka Bad Andy _ on PS4. If you're looking for me on the channel you're probably watching this on, this is my longtime friend, best man, Ryan.
Yes, my name is Ryan, and I have a voice that no matter what will spike the microphone.
That and I'm just going to have you say one phrase, and then everybody else will be like, okay, I know where I heard it before.
If you say, know what
can
phrase.
You say the phrase, we're having a baby.
We're having a baby.
Yes, I'm joined by famous comedian Seth Rogen today.
Maybe he's Canadian. I wonder if he's a goose in disguise.
It started off as a Seth Rogen game, but then they couldn't actually get his likeness, so they made it a goose.
Untitled Seth Rogen game. Jerk Rogen.
No, that's a whole different context.
Anyways. So, I threw a couple ideas out for this podcast, and I bounced them off of Andy here, and I think two stuck. One
At
was
least.
sort of, but we're definitely gonna do one, which is worth a watch. Which was we start a new series on a streaming service, a random streaming service, and we give our feedback on that and whether we liked it or not. I think that the series of the moment is on Scam Me Plus. I mean, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah.
And we're going to have to talk about The Mandalorian for that, you know.
Well, sadly, I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of waiting for a few episodes to be out before I start it because See, that's the thing I liked about Netflix. You can binge it, which I don't. Granted, I don't sit and binge, 10 hours of it, but I still would like the option if I wanted to.
Yep. But I have watched the first 2 episodes. I know the third one came out on Friday. And I've been enjoying it. If you, I would say this right now, before, since we're sort of trying to set the premise for everything here, correct? For the podcast.
More or less, yeah. We're just
so we're not going to get into too many details about this specific one, but I would say that this is not only the best Star Wars I've seen in about 10 years. Like, when did that awesome Cartoon Network Clone Wars one come out?
Ooh, that was somewhere in the 2000s, I think.
It was made by Genndy Tartakovsky of Samurai Jack and
and that's why Hotel. It was amazing.
Yeah. Ironically, I'm getting a Samurai Jack vibe from The Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's not a dialogue-heavy movie or series. It is the lone gunman / samurai. Hold on one second. Alright, sorry about that. We had dog issues.
Unexpected squeakers.
Yes.
But Mandalorian.
Yes. Like I said, it's not dialogue heavy. It's really just about a single person, single quest, and it lets the environment and the sets do the talking more than anything else.
And that's what I heard a lot of people like about it more, is it's not focusing on the Skywalkers. It's not focusing on the Jedi. It's not focusing on the Force. It's focusing...
It's a small scale.
It's in the Star Wars universe,
mm-hmm.
but it's not Jedi. And so many people, I think, are so sick of Jedi just constantly.
Yeah. I'm personally, I think they're pompous douchebags.
For the most part, yeah.
Seth are just egotistical maniacs versus... You have literally the Mandalorians, and if you follow any of the lore, Mandalorians were called Jedi Hunters for a reason.
And I remember, I know that you're a huge fan of the Mandalorian lore, from even before this even came out.
Yep. When Star Wars The Old Republic, that MMO from BioWare, I was a bounty hunter, and I, everything I could, I would do as a Mandalorian would. Flamethrowers, jetpacks, grapple hooks, you name it. I tried to be the scourge of, any freaking Jedi that I could. Also, I was a flying tank. Because
any game you play, you try to be the tank. I get it. Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm kind of the tank IRL. Fun fact. Anthony is short.
I'm 5'5", I think. Right? 5'4", 5'3", 5'2", 5'3", something.
Whatever you want.
I'm 234 pounds. I know that because I just went to the doctor. But that's all meat.
By that you mean meat like Papa John's sausages type meat? Or...
That's a sausage or something. No,
As much as no, I'm 6'4", and I've been typecast, I think.
Remember, you told me the story about how you won that one mosh pit?
Yeah. But that again, that's sort of before I really even knew anyone up in this area. I was even typecast before then. I guess it's just because I'm a big guy. Everyone's, hey, you're a big guy, you gotta be a tank. It's sort of just hey, why don't you get your wife or girlfriend into this game? We need a healer. It's the same thing. Except they're you'll be great for a tank. Why, just because I'm big? Yeah. Fuck you.
See, when I play games like that, I prefer to be support of any kind because I know that I can't do damage well. So I'm you know what? I'll sit back and I'll heal. Or you know what? I'll go up there, I'll soak up all the bullets. I'll be the human shield for you guys. You guys are better at this than I am, so... That's why when I play Smite, I try to be I'm a guardian, so I'm up there just tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I can, if I played World of Warcraft, I was always a healer. That's my favorite class. Any type of healer.
This is kind of an aimless podcast to start off, isn't it? We went from literally intro watching to why am I a tank? But I'm gonna guess it's entertaining at least.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. I mean, I listened to a few podcasts, and a few of them are very. Here's the topic. We're talking about this. End of topic. New topic. End of topic. New topic. And some of them are just free form until.
Yeah, one of my favorite podcasts is the Co-Optional Podcast. Used to be held by the late great Total Biscuit. And his opening line was, "Welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast, where we occasionally talk about games." And he was right, and it was awesome. R.I.P. Mr. Bane. So, anyways, a couple of the other ideas that we were spitballing around was
the one I liked the most that was similar to the your watching streaming service thing was
Worth a Watch or something.
Yeah, it was playing like a random like free to play indie game or something either really bad or really good, but it's free to play.
Yeah,
on either the PlayStation Store, Steam Store.
Yeah, I think I had a name for it. It was like No Quarter to Continue.
Yeah,
where it was sort of a throwback to arcade games where your game was over when your change ran out. Yeah. And the original premise was, I believe that I've been spending too much money on games in my life, and the AAA space. How can I put this gently?
Sucks?
No, that's just too direct. It is like that raccoon that you hit, and it's just getting bigger and like swelling on the side of the road, and eventually it's going to pop and maggots are going to come out. That's what it's like.
I don't like this imagery.
Yeah, well, that's what I don't like about AAA gaming. I think it's rotten to the core.
I think the better analogy is it's like the raccoon you hit, but then you picked it up and you cradled it. You tried giving it life, and you brought it to the vet, and the vet kept going, well, just give me like $5 more. Just give me like $10 more to unlock this next medicine upgrade.
But like I've been having more fun with free-to-play games probably the past year and a half now. And I honestly think the fact that the thing about at least good free-to-play games, they want you to try, and then they earn your money after you try.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of ones that I know do it really well is, again, Smite.
Yeah, if anybody has seen my channel, I basically upload at least one Smite video a day and then one of anything else. Mm-hmm. And it's because the last 2 years I've been playing it, and I started free to play. I didn't want to spend any money on it. Played it a few times, played it a bunch. Both my brothers were playing it. My friends were playing it, so I was like, give it a try. And I'm like, you can actually unlock almost everything in the game for free. Mm-hmm. You can actually buy each character with in-game currency that you earn by playing the game. Mm-hmm. Or you can spend, at the time, I don't know if it went up now there's that many more, but you could spend the $30 to unlock past, present, and future for every character released, period.
That's a good value, I think. Since
then, I've spent far more money than I want to say, probably close in the few hundreds
but
of
they
range.
Earn that money.
They did.
And at some point, you don't feel like you're spending money. You're rather supporting the developers.
That's exactly why I said, I'm going to buy this. My brother actually said to me like that. I'm like, I don't want to pay for a free-to-play game. He's like, don't think of it as paying for it. You're supporting something you like to do. Mm-hmm. So that, I'm like, you know what? And that's kind of, I've let go more money that way. Thinking that way. I'm like Brawlhalla, I almost bought the God Pack or the Champion Pack, whatever it's called there. Because
I still play that every once in a while.
I'll pop it on every once in a while, yeah. It's fun, but then I got too frustrated. Well,
that's because I know you, and the reason is because it's not Smash.
Exactly.
And you have a history with Smash. My personal favorite game right now, and probably for the past 2 years, has been Warframe. Mm-hmm. And they even did a mini documentary where they said that they have this, what they called the ick factor. And where they said if we charged anything and it felt icky or not nice, mm-hmm. they would not do it flat out, and they would throw it in the bin and start fresh. you can only buy a premium currency, which actually, in a stroke of genius, you can earn that premium currency without paying for it. Rare item drops and stuff like that. You can go into a player. There's a player economy in there.
Kind of like a auction house sort of thing.
Yeah, and you can actually sell that for someone else who has that currency. So I know people who are sitting on probably about $3,000 worth of in-game currency just from trading. They've only put about $300 in the game over coming up to 7 years, which is not bad. But
yeah.
The other thing that's sort of interesting is that they also get back to the player base in a weird way. On Steam, at least, they have a player workshop where you can design weapons and skins for Warframes. Then they put up for a voting contest. If you win, you get put into what they call the Tennogen, which is Tenno-generated items or cosmetics. Those will go for real currency.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's split, I think, like 60-40, where 60% of it will go to the designer, the actual player who designed it, and then the 40%, which I do believe also has Steam's cut in that 40%, goes back to Digital Extremes, the developer. So if you are good at 3D modeling and want to actually put out your portfolio and earn some money, get into Warframe. If you're good at Blender, I guess, stuff like that. And the other game that I have just been loving, that is a free-to-play title, is Path of Exile. I try to get you into that, but you're just like...
Wait, is that the Diablo clone?
That is the Diablo clone.
I want to download it and play it. I just haven't yet.
They just put it on PS4.
Yeah, I saw it. That's why I wanted to play it. I saw it on PS4. I was like, maybe if we sat and played it on PS4.
Yeah, I have it on my PS4, so we can try that out sometime.
Oh, that'll be a perfect segment for this then.
Yeah, especially since they just announced that they're doing a sequel.
Oh, all right.
And the original came out in 2013. The sequel is going to be a whole new campaign. All existing players will get it for free because it's a free-to-play game. The reason why they're calling it a sequel is because they're also packing like a whole new campaign, something they haven't done before, and they're also doing a graphic engine overhaul to everything. So, and they're reworking a couple of the systems because the systems are notoriously deep in that game.
So it's not necessarily a sequel, but it's like an expansion pack of Old Day.
It's like an expansion pack of Old Day, except it's going to equal the same size of content as the original.
Like StarCraft and then StarCraft Brood War.
Yeah, but imagine with StarCraft Brood War, instead of just adding like 3 or 4 units to each race, there was a 4th race in there.
Oh,
with a whole so that's the size it's going for.
Gotcha.
The only problem I have with it, their cosmetic prices are high and it's loot box, but it's free. It's completely free. We'll discuss that later after you give it a try.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, jumping back a second, because I've immersed myself into the Smite world for a while. They actually do the same thing. They have community skins where if you come up with a good concept, you can, even if you're not.
Don't they also do that with Paladins? And
I think so. Yeah.
I
gotta talk about that.
Paladins and Realm Royale, and did they also announce a new free-to-play shooter?
They did. It's called. It looks really cool. It's called Rogue Corp.
Yeah.
I signed up for the alpha, but I haven't received anything, so I don't think I got it.
I think that, I saw that, and I signed up for it too, but I believe that they're doing PC only run.
No, I said I had all of them.
It's cross-platform.
They said, what are you wanting to test it out alpha for? And it gave you the option to choose. And so I chose PS4, but the links weren't working.
Okay.
And
making a note here.
So I don't know if they're still doing alpha signups for it anymore, but
what was that called again?
Rogue Core? Well, Rogue Corpse, I think it's called.
I'm gonna definitely check that out.
I think that's what but no, I want to actually talk about Paladins for a second. So
better Overwatch?
You would think.
That's what I do think.
I
love Paladins.
I like Paladins. A few times I played it, I loved it. So Paladins is a high-res game made by High-Res. It's like Overwatch, but it's free to play.
Better.
I think it's better. They are cutting everything for it almost, though.
I haven't heard this. What are they like?
Like competitive, the competitive teams, they're cutting all funding for it. It's just not big enough. So they're pulling the plug on all competitive, keeping it just like a casual game, and they're like putting it on the back burner because it's not making enough money on the pro scene right now. Because
but are they making enough money with the casual scene? It's still sitting really quick. Pardon me as I consult the Google. Have you ever done the Google before?
What's a butt for?
Yeah, it's for pooping, you silly man. Let me check. Because there's a wonderful little website that I highly recommend called Steam Charts.
Oh, yeah. I know what it is.
All it is, it just grabs the Steam API player counts. It's becoming less accurate as more things become multi-platform. But like, if you find a free-to-play game, like I kind of like that, but you don't know
if anybody's playing it.
Yeah, it's probably good to check out Steam Charts. Oh, Paladins, not Paladins.
But from what I've read, they're kind of quietly telling all Paladin Pro players that they're condensing it way down. They're taking away prize money. They're taking away salary. They're taking away a lot of stuff, and they're making. They used to be. They adopted the same structure as they had for Smite as well, which everything's played on LAN. Everything, but then they're like, you know what? Nope. Forget it. We're just going to do everything over the internet. So if you have bad internet, too bad. They kind of just...
Oh, you mean like what Blizzard did with Heroes of the Storm?
Yeah, they kind of dropped it from the competitive scene because it's not making money there. But
right now, I think that's just because of market competition with Overwatch and...
Well, it was doing really well. I thought at least, but I guess it wasn't doing well enough. Smite is still doing really well.
Yeah.
They just updated a bunch of stuff there, but...
One thing I should point out is that this is just for the pro scene, you said. This is not for the game.
I don't know, but it's going to still trickle down to the casual scene. People, because a lot of the pros are like, I don't want to play this anymore. And a lot of people who watch the pros now probably don't want to play anymore. It's going to trickle down.
Well, now I'm taking a look at just the Steam players, and I'm going to say you're probably going to be getting... I'm going to say that and Xbox, because they seem to favor Xbox over PlayStation currently. At least they've always released Xbox first and then PlayStation afterwards. I think that's because Xbox had a early access program that Sony did not for a while.
Well, also Xbox plays well with others, where Sony is finally starting to.
Yeah, but right now the current player count is sitting at 13,000 online on just PC. And to put that into perspective...
what, 9:49 p.m. Central?
Yeah. Just to give you sort of a comparison, Destiny 2, a much larger and much more expensive game, is sitting at 90,000.
Wow.
For PC only. And that is a respectable number for, you're never going to have any, matchmaking issues when you have 10, or my opinion... At 400 players online at any time, you're not going to have any problem with matchmaking. It's a good enough pool.
Yeah.
But this is current. This isn't per day. A lot of times if you go per day, you're going to see that number jump up to a couple million.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is really, I mean, yeah.
And here, just to give you, going back to the whole Smite thing, I'm doing Smite. Smite's sitting at 12,000. And
the thing about I can't remember. I think Smite and Paladins also have their own launcher that's not through Smite or not through Steam as well.
All of them do.
Okay.
Well, they all go through the high-res launcher.
Yeah.
Realm Royale looking a little rougher, but it's in the competitive scene right now. They're only sitting at about 1,500 on PC. But then this is also it's the newest. It's still in beta. But I personally
still in beta.
If you're okay, let me put it this way:
Fortnite was in beta for like a year and a half.
If you're charging people for microtransactions, you're not in beta.
Yeah, If you have a season pass, you're not in beta, which they do.
Yes.
Unless it's a beta season pass to test it out. I like Realm Royale. I like it a lot.
I do like it. I like it too. I personally find it to be better balanced in a lot of ways.
Like,
especially the Forge system.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
That's how you can resurrect people too. Like if you're playing with duos and your teammate falls, you can pay some in-game match currency that you get.
I don't feel like I'm behind the gun if I land in an area with bad drops. I can go there and become competitive, which I think is great. Which I'm not going to say their shooting mechanics in that are the best. In fact, it sort of feels which is odd because it's based off of Paladins. The gunplay feels sub-Paladins in a weird, stiff
it's because
way.
Paladins first person, this is third person. So if you're trying to apply a first person mechanics on a third person view, it doesn't always. But I think my favorite part was like
the chicken.
Well, that too. But my favorite part was there was no building. It was still cartoony like Fortnite is, but there was no building like PUBG. There was no like. I hate that. I can't do that in Fortnite. That's why I don't play Fortnite.
Well, we'll probably have to address that in the free-to-play or no cord to continue. We cannot. There are going to be a couple of games that we're going to have to address. I'm going to definitely say Fortnite and League of Legends. We're going to have to do both those.
I've played a bit of League of Legends. I've played a bit of Fortnite. I don't play them because I don't prefer them. I prefer Smite over League of Legends because I feel League of Legends is your top-down, three-quarter view, God mode.
Yeah.
Whereas in an ironic twist, you're playing Smite where you're playing a god, but you are playing as the god. You're not in God mode watching. So.
Well, also I think it's just because the isometric view lends itself to mouse and keyboard better.
That too.
Which Xbox now can do.
So can PlayStation.
Yeah, but that's what they all offer in-game.
Oh. No. Yeah. Well,
only certain games I know that...
Coming to Smite, they're full... This next patch is coming out, I think, Tuesday or next Tuesday. Full mouse and keyboard support on all platforms.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
And now the matchmaking will also match you up. If you are... playing mouse and keyboard, you only play versus mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Regardless if you're console or not.
They had to do that with Sea of Thieves on Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Xbox has been very open about trying to make everything cross-platform.
Because Xbox is kind of... I think Xbox wants to get away from being Xbox and just be Windows gaming. You know?
They want to go as a service model. And they want everyone everywhere, but we're not Stadia.
Let's talk about Stadia for a second.
Oh, no. Why did I bring that up?
So from what I've heard about Stadia is it's a dumpster fire.
They've been offering refunds, let's put it that way.
Already?
Yeah. We actually know someone who has Stadia.
Who?
Cody.
Really?
Yeah. And he's sitting...
I'm so sorry.
He said the controller feels unusually light. Like, we're talking like old school Mad Cats.
Oh, wow. So it's cheap.
Yeah. He says like it's responsive enough, but it feels cheap.
Yeah.
Like there's and one of the weird things about this controller, have you disassembled any of your controllers before, Mr. Retro Gamer?
I have. Yeah, I've disassembled Nintendo, NES, Super Nintendo, not Sega, but
you've done it for
GameCube. Yeah, I've done.
You've done that too. Maybe clean it out, reseat the rubber for the bun, so it's actually it bounce back better.
I want to have
clean all that. And there's no screw holes.
Really?
It snaps together. and they are stiff snaps.
Oh.
There was a YouTube channel called Gamer Nexus, and while they're called Gamer Nexus, they are a PC hardware specialty.
It still makes sense. I still get it.
Yeah. They gave up on trying to open it up and they thought that was glued together, so they got a heat gun and it melted.
Oh my god.
And then they were like, screw this, it's already melted, we're not going to be able to return it, so they took a Dremel to figure it out.
Wow.
And then they got another one, and then it was like, okay, we're going to try it out because that controller has a full-on Wi-Fi connection. So it bypasses your computer. And they said, we still had input lag at this point. And the amount of input lag we can't see being any worse than if you were doing it through your browser and your desktop setup. And they said, we can't recommend this. All the games except for one, you can play anywhere else and play it better and play it cheaper.
Well, so here's a few things. I've seen a few reviews, and I think the overwhelming response is that it's garbage, that it's cheap, it's not done well. But there's been a few that are like doing the review, doing it, and they're saying it's really, really good. So I don't know if maybe they just got a good...
It's too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Everyone's network is different, and when you're dealing with network latency, it's really hard to say, well, this is where the problem lies.
You need something with, like, Google Fiber.
In this house here, we have 400 down, and we have, I want to say, 30 up. Something really good. Like, we're talking pushing near fiber levels. And I still would not trust that.
Yeah.
On top of that, one of the other things is remember when they were saying, like, it's infinitely scalable, no hardware means that you never have to worry about all this stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 4K gaming at 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but that's...
And did you hear about Destiny on there?
Well, they're saying, wow, it comes packed in, it's so cool, Destiny, wow. Destiny's free.
Yeah, Destiny 2, the base is free.
Yeah.
But Bungie did not trust their servers enough. The 4K on all the games that they've shown so far have been upscaled 1080p. On top of that, all the games are running at medium settings.
Wow.
So about that 4K. I build my rigs. I have my little Ghost machine there. I nicknamed it Ghost because it's black and white. It's not the most powerful thing, but I can put out 4K just fine on this. But I think that they not only have they botched the launch for what they promised, the fact that they were holding things back, such as Founders Editions for weeks, the bug system for weeks, the YouTube integration for months, means that after they announced it, they discovered, oh shit, this is colossal in the when we throw it out in the wild. So they've been trying to limit the release and stagger it to improve the performance. And the fact is that they still botch the performance.
Well, think of it this way, too. If you're talking performance, like, they're staggering releases of things so not everybody's playing, all these all at the same time. Well, now you're making everybody play the one game you have at the same time. It's going to botch that. Like, that's going to be...
Yeah. But it does have some advantages. Some unforeseen advantages, too. One, no Stadia game will need an anti-cheat system.
Why?
You don't own it. You're not playing it local. Do you have access to the servers?
Huh, I guess.
There's that.
There's something to be said about what they're trying to do, and it's admirable. And I like the idea, but there's no way it's going to work in this day and age. You got to wait a little bit until technology catches up, which Google's normally the ones that are on the forefront of pushing technology. But there's actually
Microsoft did it better this time.
But hold on. There's actually a website called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a website that documents every failed Google.
The Google Graveyard.
Yeah. And it's like everything that they've started and then they just dropped. And I feel like this is going to be dropped as well.
Yeah. Mainly because they're coming in, even though they're first, they don't have brand recognition. They do not have a library to support it. They really have, like,
Heck, I think Apple did it better.
Yeah, the Apple Arcade, it's actually not bad. Like, they are all, like, screaming indie. Like, I mean, like, this is your art house game. Apple Arcade is an art house service.
That makes sense for Apple.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And some of the games on there look absolutely great for what they are. But then you have Google, they have one, and then they have everything else, big AAA, and there's no compelling reason because nothing has been released day and date for Google Stadia.
Everything is it's like the Switch almost, where there's like, hey, we'll repackage Mortal Kombat, we'll repackage Destiny 2, we'll repackage. I'm surprised we're not going to see another port of Skyrim.
Skyrim is on Switch.
It is? No, I'm saying on Stadia.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, it's just Skyrim's on Alexa. It's on everything. It's like Doom.
Yeah.
You play Doom on an ATM.
Dude, you can play Doom on a Tesla. It really is. It's built into the Tesla OS on there.
That's amazing.
Also, Pac-Man and Dig Dug.
So when you get your Cybertruck...
Oh, yes. We're not going into that topic, but yes.
Are you going to play Doom?
You want me to get my Doom shot glasses? Yes.
Your Doom soundtrack with your Doom... I get it.
You set up Doom. But Microsoft and the Project xCloud, I think, is the ideal service, and I think it goes past anything that even PlayStation Now is offering.
That's the one that they're currently working on, right?
It's in closed beta right now, and here's how xCloud works. If you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is their $20 a month thing, you get a selection of 100 games included for your Xbox. The Ultimate also includes, right now I think they're only at like 70 games for PC, but still that's 70 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to be able to stream the games. However, since it's a streaming service, if you bundle them together, I think it's going to be like $30 a month for that or something. Like, don't quote me on the prices. But if you have both, you have an established library, large, like
huge,
magnitudes larger than Stadia. You can download them and play them in great quality, any quality that your rig can handle, or your Xbox One or One X can handle.
Mm-hmm.
You can then, if you are just going around town, they have the remote stream option from your local device, so you don't have to worry about connection to a server. You just have to worry about your connection to home.
Okay.
Or if you don't want to even deal with that, let's say you're traveling abroad, servers. So literally every base is covered with Xbox.
That's cool. And I know they have a huge library, and it's really cool. You can download everything. Like right now, I got PlayStation Now, and I'm struggling with the fact that I want to play all these games for my channel, but I can only internally record the ones that I have downloaded. So you can't download all the games. Not all, a lot of them are only streaming.
Yeah.
So until I get an actual computer with, streaming or recording capabilities, I'm kind of stuck with just doing the ones I can download.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Also, fun fact, Microsoft said any controller will work.
Oh, that's cool.
They even said specifically, if you have a PlayStation controller, it will work. Because
I prefer PlayStation controllers.
Yeah. I'm sort of ambivalent when it comes to controllers. Personally, right now, I actually kind of like the Switch Pro.
You like your new old Duke controller, the cool USB one, I think, right?
Yes, because I got gorilla hands and I love this thing.
I just like the cool LCD display that's on it.
Yeah.
I almost said LSD. That's a whole different time.
That's all.
It's a whole different podcast.
This thing is trippy. So, yeah, there's a lot good for pro consumer stuff coming out on the horizon.
But I want to go back to Stadia because there's a point that we missed that I think is the most hilarious point. So we kind of touched on what they're staggering and not releasing, including the Buddy Play or whatever. But the biggest one I think that's hilarious is the YouTube one. Now, anybody who's watches YouTube has now heard of so many different things with YouTube where demonetization
COPPA
is huge, and just so if you have violence in a game you're playing, if you have bad language in your video, if you have any of that, you're going to get demonetized. So first, Google, who owns YouTube, says we're going to pull all of your funding, all of your ad revenue from these games if you have blood in them. I remember there's Boundary Break is a channel I like to watch, and he had where he even went in and digitally changed all the blood to green from Mortal Kombat to make it so it wasn't red blood to try to get around, and they still demonetized them. Now, what are their launch titles for their Google's own video game system that they want to integrate with YouTube, so you have YouTube functionality straight from it?
Mortal Kombat.
Like it's like all these violent games.
And not only that,
M games.
But we're going to expand on your point. There's the whole YouTube COPPA situation,
which is another thing. Yeah.
So I know that you don't like to use the naughty words personally. But I would say that fucking shit all day long. So really quick, let's say they put you put Fortnite on Stadia, which if Stadia sticks around, they're getting Fortnite. Let's be honest.
You can get Fortnite on anything, yeah.
Yeah. Fortnite's big with kids. Even if you sit there and say, "Holy dick nipples, Batman," and say this is for adults only. But they say it's Fortnite. You're going to be screwed that way, and it's YouTube's a mess.
It is, and I'm glad there's a lot of people who are fighting to keep it how it should be.
Yeah,
but a channel that I was watching did bring up a point. They're like, when you see a lot of these children channels that are actually aimed at children stop making money, you'll see a lot of them disappear, and it'll almost be like a renaissance of old YouTube where you get people who are on here only to be on here, not to make money. So you get people on here who want to make content because that's their passion. They're not on here to make money. But I also think part of that is there's a lot of people who love to do this and this is their passion, but they can't do it unless they make money. Because it's their job now.
It's going to be a downscaling of everything.
Yeah. So I fear for a lot of channels, like one that was in particular I saw was Pixel Dan, and I don't know if you know who he is.
I've heard of that. Like,
what he does is he does toy reviews. He's huge into he does like history of toys. He does things like that, and it's not aimed at children.
It's aimed at collectors,
and it's aimed at everyone.
But like his niche is collectors.
Yeah, exactly.
Toy collectors
and people who like toys. And at this point, toys aren't for kids. Toys are for anyone who grew up with toys. Because most of his stuff are like 80s G.I. Joes, the little muscle figures, those sort of things. The things that now, being 30, I remember commercials for. I remember having some of these, and I want to feel nostalgic and watch the history of this stuff. So, but he's being threatened of being branded as a kids channel, and they're going to pull his funding because he does an entire career with toys.
Like there's another one, Busy Pop. By the way, if anyone watches and you like good cartoons, especially like early 2000s, like Invader Zim, Angry Beavers, and stuff like that, or Rocko's Modern Life, where the humor is really adult, but
oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
Search Busy Pop. She just put out 2 cartoons. One's called Has Been Hotel. I showed you that one.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I couldn't remember what it was. I'll have to get it
again. Then the other one is called Hell of a Boss. It's set in the same fictional world. But she put up a big disclaimer. It says, this is for adults only. There are nasty words in here and talks of sex. Avert your eyes, children. And like they are not politically correct at all because it's set in hell. They're supposed to be horrible things.
Yeah.
So, still shout out to them.
Seriously, go watch that because it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a 90s musical. It looks like, and I think there's a lot of people it looks like something you would see on Newgrounds, but with a budget.
Yeah. And funny thing, on the Hell of a Boss one. I'll send you the link, by the way. They got Invader Zim's voice actor on there.
Awesome.
Yes, and it's great because imagine Invader Zim finally dropping the F-bomb.
Like you always imagined him. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And then he kills a kid.
That's amazing.
Yes. Great show, but that's besides the point. How about we back to games? Because that's your channel. You are the games.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Or you're basically...
my idea for the podcast was always to be gaming, but also pop culture, anything you want.
Whatever you like channel.
Exactly.
So
what honestly, channel-wise, I'm trying to get away from doing Smite every day, you know. Well, my current idea in my brain is once I'm able to get on a better schedule for recording, which my new 2-month-old Maddie is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He's getting onto a sleep schedule now. We switched. We moved the bassinet into our room so that way I can put him to sleep, put him in there where it's dark, fans going, he stays sleeping, which he does, which is great. And then I have the living room to myself so I can record whatever I need to, whatever I want to. I tested it out the other day. I recorded 1 half-hour episode, and then Remy started coughing and crying. I'm like, I just can't record things. But
this time slot works.
Yeah.
Plus, like, we have enough sound warning.
But my new plan is to do kind of shy away from doing Smite all the time and play other games. Like I want to play like Destiny 2. I want to play like Apex. I was playing that with my brother the other day.
Apex feels so good, and that's another story for me.
Apex, that's another free-to-play one. So
yeah,
that works.
And it's coming to Steam.
Oh, nice.
Just FYI for people. EA announced that they are now bringing their entire libraries over to both Steam and the Epic Game Store on PC.
Oh, yeah, I heard that, yeah.
Which makes me think that they're probably integrating the Origin launcher as a separate download into Steam as a DRM. But just to get that bigger audience is what I'm thinking.
It makes sense, yeah.
I know you can already buy the new Star Wars game by Respawn.
Yeah, I want to get it. I'm hearing good things about it.
Yeah. But yes, Apex, the reason why I have a complicated relationship with it, I find Titanfall 2 to be one of the best games in the past 10 years.
It's it's still the only shooter I go back and play. I don't necessarily like Call of Duty. I don't necessarily like most shooters, first person or otherwise. But my brother and I just sat and played Titanfall 2 not too long ago. Again, we got back into playing competitive again.
There's that one level. Everyone knows that level, and you will not speak about that level.
I don't remember that level.
Go back in time and think about it. That was a hint.
Oh, you mean in the main game?
Yes.
I'm thinking PvP.
Okay.
No, that's one of my favorite levels.
Okay.
I love that.
Yes.
That is so cool. I think the favorite part is having to flip back and forth through time going down the shaft.
We don't talk about that level.
Why?
Because it's a spoiler.
Oh.
I don't care if the game's 3 years old. People need to experience it fresh.
Go play Titanfall 2. Anyway, my point being, I want to do like team-based games at my first time slot, and then whatever else I do, either even if it's like me and someone else sitting playing a game, or just me playing a game in my second spot. So that way, it's kind of breaking up the Smite monotony. But then again, I look at it and I'm like, Smite's the only thing on my channel getting views.
Well, don't pigeonhole yourself.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but I can see this. I think it's because the Smite community is not very large on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
You got a few pro players that are really the ones you watch.
Yeah, but like you're not really. They come to you because, like, there's not a whole lot of Smite out there.
Yeah,
which is not bad or good or it's just a thing. But yeah, we can do other games. I've been trying to get into Smite with you.
it's just
we did do the cross-platform, and that works really well.
It works fine, but there's no in-game chat that's private chat. At least not yet. I don't know if
Maybe
they're
there
making
should
it.
be a Bad Andy Discord.
Yeah, but then that makes me have to do separate recording and
That's why I'm a technician.
we'll figure it out.
Yes, we'll figure it out.
Especially if I get a PC soon.
Yes.
Jinx.
But what were we talking about? We were talking about Apex Legends and how good that is.
Well, I was talking about the view for my channel. What I want to do with it. Because, okay, so people are probably sick of me talking about it for the last 2.5 years. I love playing Smite. I still do. With the cross-platform crossplay, it took a dip in how much I wanted to play it because it's really hard to play verse mouse and keyboard on a controller. And it got really... My brothers, my friends, and I, the 5 of us that interchange and play with each other, were on such a bad losing streak. It was... You would lose 4 games, win 1, lose 4, win 1, lose 3, win 1. Like, that's how bad it was. You could go lose 8 in a row, and then my brother throws the controller against the wall, and we all stop playing because we're not in a good mood anymore.
Well, that's what happened with PC players are trolling people on Sea of Thieves because you have only 3 types of ranged weapons in Sea of Thieves. You have pistols, pretty self-explanatory, a blunderbuss, a shotgun, and a sniper rifle. And guess what happened?
It's so much easier to snipe people on it.
I'm not saying that you can't be accurate with a mouse or with a controller, but the fact is that you literally have infinite range and infinite speed variables with a mouse.
Exactly.
It's flat out a better input device. Fight me.
No, it really is. That's why, so in Smite you have auto attack characters that are ranged auto attacks. Well, how hard is it to thumbstick over, attack? And it's really hard to follow with all your thumbsticks while doing other buttons.
Literally just keep one hand.
You hold down auto attack and you continuously follow with one hand.
I saw some guy playing Smite one-handed with an MMO mouse.
Oh wow!
He won the match with the MVP.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like some people are like, I watch the pro player.
Also, Vulcan. He has skill shots. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. And you don't have to worry about thumbstick speed. You're just like literally flick up and click in, and all of a sudden his ult is just wiping the lane. If you're good, obviously.
For Vulcan, I have a few things on instant cast, which has really helped my game. It's really improved it. But there's a few of them where you want to press it once to aim where you're going, press it again to use it. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's a few of them where you want that instant cast, but even still, there's a few pro players I watch. I watch Weekend, who is notorious. People love him or hate him. So, and he's one of those people who just speaks whatever he says. He doesn't care. But I also watch Incon, he's an ex-pro player, and I like to watch him because I like to learn from what they're doing.
It's fun to watch pro players
of anything. Watching that level of skill
is
learn
ridiculous. Tricks. That's how I got good at Titanfall. I watched a guy called Frothy Omen, which I actually asked him why he got that name. He goes, it was an original Xbox name generator name. And that's how I learned to do the slide hop.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And you saw the difference in speed on PC compared to console because of just that input. And that was one half, but the fact that people were literally okay, we're on the other side of the map. And stuff like that I would have never known otherwise. That's really fun watching pros.
And then you went and adapted that to Destiny 1 too, with the Titan there.
The Titan Skate. Titan Skate was my jam, especially Juggernaut with a shotgun. It's just oh hi, have you met my friend Shotgun Barrel?
But I actually did just recently re-download Destiny 2. It's cross-save, which is nice. So if you can save your game, come play with me, and then,
Yeah, we can do that. Like, I love the fact that sort of things are becoming platform agnostic.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like it, but then there's also a few things like
you run into the mouse and keyboard thing in Smite. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, which is why I like that they're fixed to that is mouse and keyboard versus mouse and keyboard only.
Yeah,
or controller versus controller only.
Yeah, I think that though it's overall healthier for the player base to do that, even if it's now segmented that way. But still, the fact is that like you're going to have PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. While they could be dead on one platform, all of a sudden that platform now has new life.
Well, and then now they're fully integrated controller support into the PC as well. Yeah. So everything's going to be everywhere, doing everything, which is nice.
Basically, there's more players if you only split it in half instead of splitting it into quarters.
Exactly.
So, yeah, not much else to say. I think that before we call it, for our first game for Worth a Play, what are you thinking? You want to do the Path of Exile?
You mean no quarter to continue?
No, yes. Worth a Play, or that was worth a watch. No quarter to continue. What game should we play? I think we should start off with either a platform game or one like a bigger title.
Well, I don't mind playing Path of Exile. I think it'd be fun. Just as long as you can jump on PS4 and play with me, so it's easier for me to record at this point.
Yeah, we can do that. Like I can even record it online if you want that stuff.
So this is something I wanted to do, and I almost lost my phone. And my one brother's kind of on board with it. I want to if I ever play a game of Smite, I want everybody to record that game.
So you can actually go and like
send me
kills.
And send me the file so I can switch back and forth between who's playing. So I think that'd be fun, and I think once I get the computer, it'll be a lot easier.
Yep. Well,
Path of Exile, I think, yeah.
Path of Exile, I think, would be a good starter. And then we'll throw that up on your channel. I can do the recordings if you would like me to. And then, I'd like to say next week, same bat time, same bat channel.
I want to do it bi-weekly. I think it's going to be easier for me schedule-wise. And then
in 2 weeks, we'll come back for no quarter to continue.
Yeah, and then we'll hopefully we'll have a few more like actual segments, a couple more topics. We kind of just decided, hey, let's do this today.
Yeah, so it's sort of an impromptu ramble.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with rambling. I actually like rambling a little bit more. I like to have my topics I want to talk about, but I like to ramble between them and not have
I had a paper that had a bunch of jokes on it, but it was all terrible.
Something else I started doing, and I've actually started learning from it again. I feel like I'm back in college. I started doing creepypastas, and I started doing a little bit of video editing in it. And now I'm learning a little bit more about the editing, software again. I'm getting back into it, and I love video editing so much. But I actually threw a small clip into Photoshop, and I was able to Photoshop, and I learned how to Photoshop animate like an actual video segment instead of just a picture, and that was been really fun too. So I'm trying to. Maybe we could maybe you and I can find something to do too for it. I want to do every Saturday, do something scary, whether it's a creepypasta or a scary game we play or something. So, I want to do that every Saturday. But obviously today's Saturday, and I have not done that yet because November's been a very hard month for me. Having a newborn and getting the newborn on a schedule has been very trying for what I'm doing here. But starting tomorrow, it's going to be it's going to be December, and I want to start doing Christmas-themed stuff. Or winter-themed, or something like that. So
fair enough.
If anybody has any suggestions, send them my way, especially if they're free to play, which I think is going to be the funniest normally.
And don't forget, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is.
And if anyone tells you otherwise...
You don't need them in your life.
Yes. exactly. Throw him off the tower like Hans Gruber.
Yep, exactly. And then just watch that. By today's standards, not the best green screen effect.
It's a 30-year-old movie. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway, go subscribe to our other channel, Byte My Pixels. It's been more or less inactive for a while, but I want to get it resurrected.
It has one thing on it, and you were the last thing on it. And that was Let's
Play. Didn't you stream stuff?
No, not on that one. It was there's one thing on there. It's called The Rage of Ants. It's you getting mad at Banjo-Kazooie.
Wow.
And that was back at my old house, man. That's that was...
Well, we used to have a channel, and it was As I Play Dying, and it was getting semi-successful, and I liked it a lot, but then someone else took the same name and started doing a lot more, and so we're like, let's rebrand, regroup. We actually made a logo and everything, and then life happened.
Yep.
So, let's get back into it. If I have a computer, I can definitely help it. Do more. Now that online is more of a thing, we can do a lot more online games and put them up on there. If let's say we play a game like Destiny, and I'm on PC playing Destiny or something, and like you, me, Leo, and Rodney were playing, we all record what we're playing. Then I can edit and put on the channel. Like, okay, we're flipping back and forth between who's doing what.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and this podcast has been brought to you by our sponsor, Dollar Shave Honey, where you can get the Manscaped VPN using our promo code. This is bullshit.
Just don't use it. I know it's marketed to it, but I've tried it. Just don't use it around your private parts because Dollar Man Shave Honey is very hot and it burns. So,
and let's just put it this way: sometimes the connection's insecure, and things could get really, really hairy. Which is actually another one. Harry's here. All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.